Hi, I'm Norie Burnet, and you are in my garden. I call this place Eden Woods because to me it is a heavenly spot in the midst of the woods. This is a lovely, lovely bank of azaleas. These are George Tabor azaleas, these lovely pink ones. And I have just allowed them to grow and do their own thing. Sometimes I'll cut a few for a bouquet to give away. But this is like an embracing arm as you walk into the garden. This part of the garden is called the step garden. And once, before the moss settled in between the rocks, it was very subject to erosion, and that water would pull all the nutrients down the hill. But the moss has locked that in, and the beds are rich and full of vital things right now. This azalea is called Nancy of Robin Hill. It's just started blooming. Isn't it pretty? They look like little pink gardenias. Azaleas are a wonderful shade shrub, and there are so many different varieties. It's good to have some that bloom early, some mid-season, and some late season. This is a moss garden. Instead of grass, I have moss everywhere. We walk on the moss, and there are many different varieties, at least 6 or 7 different varieties just here in this garden. This is one variety. This is called hair-cap moss, or Polytrichum commune, and it looks like a little forest of pine trees. And the moss makes its own little patches, different patches everywhere. None of this has been planted. This is nature at work. This azalea is called Flame. It's a very old-fashioned variety. And this has been here for about 50 years. The first owners of this house planted this azalea here, and I've allowed it to hybridize or just grow and naturalize here in the woods and just become part of the woods. So I don't trim this back. An important thing to remember about azaleas, only trim them back after they bloom. If you trim them later, you will take away all the blossoms for the next year. This is a spring pool. Actually, this spring started under the house, and it was found when the house was being built, and the water was piped off into this little pool area over here. I just love the way the moss has formed around the edges over here. Most of this is fern moss, the Widium delicatum, which I have over most of the lawn area here. This water will fill up and just drain out into the woods over here. And I was told once by some old timers that the first still in Chesterfield County was located right here in this wooded area. And we actually did find a copper tank under the ground. But that was a long, long time ago, I think during the Prohibition times. This very dramatic plant is called a Mahonia, or Oregon grape, and you can see why it has the title grape in there. These look like little grapes here, and it's very dramatic in a shade garden. This particular one simply seeded itself. This is a little island garden over here with a Japanese maple and a number of other shade-loving plants. When you plant a garden, be sure to put in benches because people need a place to sit in a garden. You work so hard, but you need to sit down sometimes and just enjoy the beauty of what you've done. The beauty of the flowers and the shrubs and the trees and the birds. Just look at this. This is a lovely little island that I formed over here. So when you sit, you can actually look at something and meditate and enjoy. This is another variety here. It's called Leucobrium albida, and it looks like velvet, and it feels like velvet. This is my collection of fairies. I got them one at a time, and they're just, when my granddaughters come over, they love to rearrange them. But I think fairies are part of a woodland garden, and these are my fairies. I hope you'll come back again one day and visit my garden. You are welcome anytime.